Hi everybody. Well, my shirt has magically changed colors, but my nostrils have not. I've talked a lot for you ladies and talked about what to do with men and male narcissists. Now I want to switch it up. This is for you guys dealing with female narcissists and new supply, right? So there's a new guy that they're parading around. Here's the thing, okay? Anybody older than the age of 13, any girl older than the age of 13 has learned acutely the dangers, risks, and effects of bringing one guy to the attention of another guy, right? Just about every girl who has dated guys in her life has had a bad experience where two guys get the scent of each other, they don't like each other, and they, puff out their chests, and they go through all the posturing and chest beating and jealousy and all that shit, right? So women are acutely aware of this phenomenon. So when you hear a girl talking about this guy or bringing this guy to your attention, and she says, "Stop being so jealous, he's just a friend." Well, no, because the bottom line is, when he is a friend, she wouldn't be putting him or you in that kind of position, because you don't want to risk damaging your friendships, right? So this is a tactic, it's a ploy, it's triangulation. The whole thing of he's seriously just a friend of mine, it's bullshit. There are a few exceptions. One exception is when you're just starting to see a girl and she sort of brings you around her friends and let her friends sort of feel you out and see how you fit in her existing social network. That's kind of an exception. But if you've been with somebody for a while and she's got a new guy friend and she's swearing that he's just a friend, it is bullshit. It's bullshit. Because if he was a friend, either y'all'd be hanging out or she would be discreet and not mention him. See, women know discretion. They know to delete their text messages on their phone. They know not to let one guy find out about the other guy, even on a platonic basis. So they just don't tell stories about their day. If a guy's involved, they just don't tell those stories, or they leave the guys out for the most part. Yes, there are exceptions, right? This isn't a hard and fast rule for you ladies watching, right? Because one thing I've noticed whenever I do videos that are geared more towards ladies, talking shit about men, I don't really get a lot of guys sounding off very often saying, well, all of us guys aren't like that, and you've got it wrong, and you're being misandrous, and things like that. But whenever I start putting bad female behavior in the spotlight, it seems to trigger a lot of ladies. So before you ladies hit post on that comment that you're working on right now, because I see you typing, understand, we're talking about female narcissists. I ain't talking about you. We're talking about them. The bad ones, right? Like, think of the guy that brought you here in the first place and then swap out his genitals. Them, right? So just relax. These are things that, yes, all women can and often do, but with different intents and different reasons. And so I think that's important for you ladies who are listening to this and getting irritated to understand that these are common female behaviors. It's the intent that differs and the intent that's behind it. So when you hear me say something that you've done before, I already know, yeah, you had different intentions. And I'm not getting it wrong. I'm talking about a different kind of girl, not you, okay? So just remember that. Because all you ladies have known other ladies that are like this, okay? Now, I want to touch on, that being said, I'm going to broach the subject that I think is probably going to set off the trigger squad. And that is, what do you do when you actually find out that she is indeed having a relationship with a guy, right? So she's cheating on you. Well, when the shit hits the fan, there's female narcs. Ideally, what they do is they lure in as many men as they can to reap the maximum benefit from all the guys. See, there's a type of woman who doesn't bother learning how to use a screwdriver or a hammer or a pair of pliers or a voltmeter or anything like that. She learns how to use a guy, and a guy knows how to use those things. So all she has to learn is how to use one type of tool, and she's good, right? So there are the kinds of women who are like that. There's whole schools of thought in the red pill / MGTOW / well, not incel, but red pill, blue pill, purple pill, black pill, all that, the pills, and MGTOW, where they say all women are like that. AWALT, A-W-A-L-T, right? It's not always completely true. I don't buy that. But that's for a whole other topic of discussion. When you catch them cheating, in their ideal situation, they like to, whenever they're done with a guy, female narcissists usually love to light a match and throw it over their shoulder and watch the world burn as they stroll away confidently in their high heels and bouncing boobies. And they go off and they move on to a new guy, right? That's how they envision themselves when they discard a guy. So if you're the one who catches them, understand one thing. Chances are pretty good she wanted you to find it out, because that's her throwing the match over her shoulder, right? Because this is going to create the fiery drama that's going to make you look like the asshole and provide her solid evidence that shows that she's justified in her behaviors, right? So when you think about how sneaky and deceptive and pathological, how much of a pathological liar narcissists can be, and then all of a sudden you're sort of just blown away at how dumb could they possibly be trying to hide this. They didn't do a very good job. They're an idiot. No, they wanted you to find it, and they wanted to put the ball in your court to start the drama. Because nothing justifies women's bad behavior like having an angry man, and they can point to the angry man and say, you see how unstable he is? That's why I had to leave. You know, I had to go see this other guy behind his back because I was scared of what would happen if I just tried to break up with him. You know, he's crazy, he's unstable. I needed to make sure that I had somewhere safe and secure to go to. Right? Wrong. You know, they do that on purpose. Now, if you catch them and they all start giving you the line of, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, it was just an honest mistake, you know, and they sit there and they try to butter you up and keep you on the hook, it's because you either have something left to offer, or she's not yet secure enough in her new relationship to make the switch. Now, this whole process, when non-narcissistic females do this, or women, I should say, females, women, whatever you want to call it, it's called moving on. Like that's the word that they use. They say moving on, and this usually involves securing a relationship with a new guy and making sure that that relationship is solid, stable, and worthwhile before leaving the other guy. This is something that women tend to do. Every woman has learned, and here's the thing, guys, that you got to understand, okay? And this is why you'll hear women say that it's not cheating, it's technically different from cheating. Personally, I disagree. I think it's cheating with purpose and reason when regular, normal women do it. There's a justification I think men really just don't think about, and that's the fact just about every woman has been in a scary ass breakup, one with a guy who's lost his temper, lost his shit, and thought, oh my god, if this guy goes crazy, how am I going to protect myself? How am I going to defend myself? where am I going to go? Is this guy going to turn into a stalker? So women tend to be very security minded, and just about every woman has lived through a nightmarish scenario like that. So sometimes, if it means living and not being in fear of your life, sometimes, women sometimes and usually will see that as an unfortunate necessity to guarantee their safety, right? Now, other women don't see it that way, just some of them. I think it's a valid viewpoint, but I still believe that it is cheating. It's just cheating, and your reasons are more complex, okay? Simply put, because you should learn how to break up civilly is the thing. And you should also learn red flags when dating, so that you just don't ever find yourself in that situation to begin with, okay? So, man, when you discover that your girl is sleeping with another guy, her response is going to tell you everything you need to know about the situation, okay? If she's trying to keep, apologize to you and all of that, women don't just accidentally go fall on dick so much that their boyfriends find out about it. If women actually do have an indiscriminate fling, they keep their fucking mouth shut. They do. So this guy is either a serious prospect for her to move on, or he's just an additional supply. And how she responds means either you still have something to offer her, or she's not yet confident enough in her relationship with that new guy. Regardless, your answer should always be, get the fuck out. Period. Get the fuck out of my house. And don't come back. Send her all of her belongings through UPS, right? Get rid of her. Because regardless, whether she's a narc or a regular girl, she's moving on, or she's not. She really just doesn't take you as seriously as you take her. Especially if you're supporting her and breaking your back and providing for her, and she's doing this shit. She either thinks that she can do better than you, or she's just not all that committed to you. And you don't need that shit. Your hard work is better directed at yourself. You should be reaping the benefits of your own hard work. You spend your money on you. Buy yourself some toys. Buy a motorcycle and a rifle. That kind of stuff. It's good for the man's soul, right? Dump them. Get rid of them. Period. If you're married, if you have kids and all of that, it's a little more complicated. If you're married and you discover that your wife is having an affair, this is the proper chain of events that you should do. You discover that she's having an affair. Say nothing, do nothing. It's hard as fuck, I know. Say nothing, do nothing. This is what you need to do to maximize your experience with family court, most especially if you have children. What you need to do, find an attorney and retain the attorney. Period. In family court, 85% of men end up getting their asses handed to them. Find an attorney, retain the attorney, hire a private investigator. This is really important. Evidence of an affair is usually never admitted into court unless it comes from an investigator, right? This is the whole reason why the show Cheaters is around. It has to come from a PI. They're really not that expensive. They charge like $70 to $100 an hour, and it's really just a few hours worth of work. It's money well spent. Trust me, because divorce is expensive as hell. So you find the attorney, retain the attorney, hire the PI, get solid evidence of the affair. Then you file for divorce before you ever say anything to her. File for divorce, get that in, because there's a cool-off period before anything can happen. And then, once you've done all of this, then you can tell her to get the fuck out. And you've already taken all the necessary precautions to protect yourself for the next several years as divorce goes through and the whole vicious battle, etc. Thanks for watching. I'm out of time. Bye-bye.